Let's be honest, talking about poop isn't something most people are comfortable with. It's not exactly a dinner table conversation, right? But here is the thing, just because we don't talk about it doesn't mean it's not important. Hi, I'm Bimal Mahajan, founder and a CEO of Gutsphere, in a mission to make GI care accessible, affordable, and actionable. Today, we are breaking the taboo. In this episode, we are diving into why bowel movements matter, not just for your gut, but also for your overall health. By the end of this video, you will see your poop for what it really is, a vital sign of your body's health, just like your heart rate or blood pressure.
Disclaimer. This information is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making changes to your diet, lifestyle, or treatment plan.
Let's start with something fascinating. Your gut isn't just responsible for digesting food, it's actually your body's second brain. Scientists call this the enteric nervous system, and it's packed with over 100 million nerve cells. That's more than your entire spinal cord. What's even more mind blowing is how your gut and brain are constantly talking to each other. This connection, called the gut brain axis, influences everything from your mood and your stress levels to your immune system. Ever had butterflies in your stomach before a big event? That's your gut and brain having a conversation. Now, here is the problem. We don't pay attention to what our gut is trying to tell us. We feel bloated and chalk it up to eating too much. We get constipated and think, I just need more coffee. But these red flags that your gut is waving to your attention. When we ignore these signs, it's like ignoring the check engine light in your car. Sure, you might get by for a while, but eventually things break down. And for 40% of the world's population dealing with GI issues, that breakdown can look like IBS, GERD, or worse. All right, let's talk about why bowel movements are the ultimate health indicator. I know it might sound odd, but your poop, it's basically your body's daily report card. Think about it. Everything you eat, drink, and even how you feel emotionally gets processed through your gut. Your bowel movements are the final result of all that activity. And they have a lot to tell you if you know how to listen. Let's break it down. First, digestion. The size, shape, and consistency of your stool can show how well your body is breaking down food. For example, if it's hard and lumpy, you might need more fiber or water. If it's loose and watery, your gut might be irritated. Then there is hydration. Dry, hard stool, that's your body waving a red flag saying, hey, I need more water. And on the flip side, if things are moving too fast, your stool might come out too loose, meaning your body didn't absorb enough water. And inflammation is another big one. If you see mucus in your stool or notice frequent changes in your bowel habits, it could point to inflammation in your gut. This is common with conditions like IBS or Crohn's disease. And there is something you might not expect: mental health. Your gut and your brain are best friends. Chronic stress can literally change the consistency of your stool. Ever noticed how much your stomach gets upset when you are anxious? That's your gut reacting to what's happening in your head. And now let's talk about obvious stuff. Color. Yep, it matters. Brown, that's the goal. Healthy poop is brown because of bile, which helps break down fats. But if it's black, it could be something like iron supplement, or it might even mean bleeding in your upper GI tract. Pale or clay colored, that might point to a liver or bile duct issue. And if it's red, it could be beets, or it might even bleeding in your lower digestive tract. Either way, it's worth paying attention. Consistency matters too. Hard, dry stool can mean constipation or dehydration. Loose stools could mean an infection or something you ate didn't sit well. It's not about overthinking every detail, but these are patterns worth noticing. Okay, let's bust a few myths. Myth number one, it's normal to poop once a week. Nope. While what's normal varies, most people poop anywhere from 3 times a day to 3 times a week. Less than that, you are probably constipated. And more than that, it might mean something like IBS with diarrhea. Myth 2. Only people with GI issues need to care about their poop. Also false. Whether you are healthy or dealing with gut issues, your bowel movements are still giving you insights about your diet, hydration, and even stress levels. And myth number 3. If it doesn't hurt, it's fine. Not necessarily true. Serious conditions like colorectal cancer can show up as a subtle change in stool color or consistency. Things you'd only notice if you're paying attention. So why does this all matter? Because bowel movements are a tool of free daily check in your health. By observing things like frequency, color, and consistency, you can catch early warning signs, improve your diet, and even prevent chronic conditions. And honestly, it only takes a minute. And here's a pro tip. Start small. Over the next few days, just notice, are things regular? Are there sudden changes? No need to overthinking. Just be curious. All right, let's get real for the moment. Talking about poop is obviously awkward for most people. And for some of us, it might even feel gross. But here is the thing. Why should it be? We openly share about many steps we have taken, how many hours we have slept, or even our latest heart rate stats from a smartwatch. So why not talk about one of the most consistent and reliable indicators of health we have? The truth is, the stigma around bowel movements has a lot to do with societal norms. Somewhere along the way, we decided it's not something to talk about. Maybe because it feels too personal, or maybe because it's seen as impolite. But here is the catch. This silence is hurting us. And when we avoid these conversations, we miss out on understanding our own bodies better. And worse, we create barriers for people who need help, making them feel ashamed to ask questions or seek advice. Avoiding the topic doesn't make the problem go away. In fact, it can make things worse. For example, some might ignore symptoms like bloating, irregular bowel movements, or discomfort because they are too embarrassed to mention it. By the time they seek help, it could have escalated into something more serious, like chronic constipation, inflammatory bowel disease, or even colon cancer. This is why normalizing conversations about bowel health isn't just a nice to have, it's essential for better health outcomes. And when we talk about these things openly, we empower people to take early before small issues turn into problems. So let's reframe how we think about this. Instead of seeing poop as something gross or taboo, let's see it for what it really is, a vital sign. Just like your heart rate or your blood pressure, it's simply a reflection of how your body is functioning. And tracking it can be as normal as logging your steps or calories. And here is a little secret. Once you start paying attention, it stops feeling weird. It just becomes another part of your health routine. And trust me, the insights that you will gain are worth it. So, how do we break the ice? Start small. For example, if you are visiting your doctor, and experiencing gut issues, mention your bowel movements. It's one of the first things they'll ask about anyway. So you are actually making their job easier by bringing it up first. Or maybe you're talking with a close friend or a family member. Start sharing your experiences, and that can help them feel more comfortable opening about their own. You would be surprised how many people are going through similar things, but feel too embarrassed to bring it up. Normalizing this conversation isn't just about reducing awkwardness, it's about improving lives. When you take the first step, whether it's talking to a doctor, sharing with a friend, or simply starting to track on your own, you unlock the power to understand your body better. You are not just breaking the stigma, you are building a healthier relationship with your body. And that's something worth celebrating. Also, here's the truth: everybody poops. It's one of the most universal things about being human or any other animal. And once we realize that, it gets a lot easier to talk about it. And by normalizing these conversations, we make space for better health, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. So let's break the silence. The next time you feel awkward thinking about or talking about bowel movements, remind yourself this isn't just about poop. It's about health, empowerment, and taking control of well being. Together, we can shift the narrative and make this conversation as normal as talking about steps or sleep. So now that we have broken the taboo, it's time to take action. In the next episode, we will dive into the digestive journey. What happens from the moment you eat to the moment your body gets rid of waste. And spoiler alert, it's more fascinating than you think. For now, I will leave you with this. Start paying attention. Just observe your bowel movements over the next few days. Notice the color, the consistency, and frequency. Don't judge, just notice. And if you are feeling brave, share one thing you learned in the comments. Let's start a conversation and break the stigma together. Join the waitlist for first ever GI Copilot today at www.gutsphere.com. Your poop is your health report card. Start decoding it today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in episode 2.